Kia ora, welcome to the Cleine Line. I'm Jamie Cleine, Mayor of Bulla, and this podcast is a place for honest conversations about local government, life on the coast, and everything in between. This isn't the official council line, it's my personal take, with no spin, no script, just open reflections on what's happening in our communities, around the council table, and sometimes from the halls of Parliament too. In this episode, we're shining a light on youth in the region, because growing up in Westport or Karamea or anywhere in Bulla is not quite the same as growing up in, say, Wellington or Auckland. I'll be covering the inaugural Bulla Youth Festival, because every young person in Bulla carries a piece of our future, and that's worth my time, and it's certainly worth celebrating. Before we dive down to the local Bulla Festival, let's clear the air a little and have a look at the national youth policy in New Zealand. Now, New Zealand does have a youth minister, and as of January this year, that was the Honourable James Meagher. He took up the role outside of Cabinet, but has a clear mandate to champion youth development. He's backed by the Ministry of Youth Development, which handles initiatives for 12 to 24-year-olds, and they prioritise groups like regional youth, rangatahi Māori, rainbow youth, and much, much more. Now, this is a step up compared to countries that don't have a dedicated youth minister, but it still falls short of having youth voices embedded directly in lawmaking or regional representation. In places like Scotland or parts of Germany, youth councils or under 30-year-old MPs are part of the legislative process. In New Zealand, most of our youth engagement remains advisory, and it's often quite city-centric. I think we need to consider how we take formal representation a step further. At a council level, especially for smaller councils, it is so difficult to find the funding to meaningfully find ways to engage with youth that, in Bulla's case, are spread across almost 8,000 square kilometres. Each May, right across Aotearoa, New Zealand, we celebrate Youth Week with workshops, performances, events. It's meant to be a time when young people's voices shine. But again, most of this happens in the cities, and if you're in Bulla, it's certainly not always on your radar, unless someone local puts it front and centre. This week, on the 12th of August, it was International Youth Day, and the inaugural Bulla Youth Festival was timed to bring a youth focus to our region in real, tangible ways. I spoke with festival organiser Dale Ashworth, who'd led a small team, including a number of youth, to bring the festival to life. Dale, what was the inspiration for pulling this together?
Yes, so normally the Trust each year, through help from funding from various places, West Coast Community Trust, we normally send some youth over to the Festival for the Future in Wellington. So we normally send about a dozen from the Youth Voice Kawatiri, along with yourself, often come to support them as well. And that festival was unfortunately cancelled this year. So unfortunately, due to funding, they were no longer operating. So we just decided around the table one night and went, why don't we just do one here? Why not? We can do anything. So we decided to apply for funding through Bulla Resilience Trust and make that the decider as to whether we did it. And we were very lucky to get the funding from the Trust, and here we are now today.
What do you think youth get out of events like this? I guess previously going to the Big Smoke, they got a bit of a city experience. But again, you obviously give a lot of thought to the speakers you would have here today and things. What are the sort of things you're hoping the youth take away?
There's a couple of sort of themes that we wanted. We had a bit of a theme of resilience, a bit of a theme of pride in where they live. There was a questionnaire that was asked at school, whether people were proud to live here. And of course, a lot of the youth don't put up their hands. There was pretty much a zero response. So that was sad to hear. So I think we kind of really want hope, I guess, that the youth will come away from these things feeling a bit more pride, seeing that, this local guy, James, from here come and done amazing things, and that someone like Jake can go through what he went through and still come out on top, and just have all those things that happen. So we hope that they come away with a greater sense of pride in living here, but also feeling that, no matter what's going on in their life, which like even for a person that's got the easiest life ever, life still feels really tough when you're a youth, right? When you're a rangatahi. So we hope that they realise that, hey, this is just a moment in life, and that resilience will help you get through, and there's all sorts of amazing things out there that they can do.
Yeah, and one of the speakers talked about building up a toolkit, if you like, for the kite of how to be more resilient and take care of yourself and aspire to new things and learning and things like that. And I guess that's something that perhaps from smaller communities, you have to perhaps seek that out a little bit more.
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, it's, it takes a village, and certainly Westport's a great village, and the event's taken a village to put it together. But all those little things, I think, help. So if you've got all that advice, you add that to your bucket of things that you can use to get through life, which can be tough at times.
And so alongside the inspirational speakers today, you've actually had some practical workshops as well. So talk us through some of those, and I think you touched on the tyre changing. I know that's one of them, but some of the other practical things that are happening out and about in these breakout sessions.
Yeah, for sure. So actually behind us we've got the Glow Up workshop, which is for makeup tips, pretty much, of skincare and making the best of your own natural beauty. We've got some builders going on out there, hopefully not making too many holes in the council field. And we've got some leadership skills. We have some ecological, environmental sort of based things. We have firearms safety. Get ready for work is happening here. So, things about CVs and interviews and stuff like that. So lots of practical stuff that when you're now and when you leave school is stuff that you're probably going to have to use at some point in time.
Yeah. Well, I've been dropping in and out of the event all day, and I have to say I've been impressed with the amount of engagement and the chatter of the youth that are coming and going and heading off to the various workshops. So I guess you'll have a debrief after today and have a bit of a rethink. But the planners, you'll be back next year.
Oh, I do hope so. If they'll take us, if they'll put out a survey, so I guess it's up to the youth. If they've all said that they love it and they want us back, then we will definitely try our hardest. Obviously, it comes down to funding at the end of the day. If we can get it, we will be back. In this youth festival, they have felt like the centre of it, and they've been a lot louder and more engaged and more quite lively, because it is about them. And I think all the speakers, including yourself, have really enforced that throughout the day, as saying, actually, you are an individual. This is about you, and you have a voice, and let's hear it.
Yeah, so great talking to you, and congratulations on a great inaugural youth festival, and I look forward to next year.
One of the features of the Buller Youth Festival itself was the keynote speeches. So one of them was from Jake Bailey, a well-known public speaker, talked about his resilience, experience and learnings, and shared some tools with the youth from his own youth battle with cancer and life that he's made for himself after that. Another inspirational speaker was the Children's Commissioner, Dr. Claire Ahmed, who gave a speech to the youth. And of course, our very own local lad done well, Jaden Shingleton, who is probably more famous these days from his appearance on The Voice Australia. I got to catch up with Jaden just after he had got off stage from his talk to the youth.
What are your thoughts on the value that people that have had your experience bring to the likes of coming back to speak to youth here?
Well, the youth are the people of our future. So supporting them in any way, shape or form is extremely important, especially over here on the coast. My view, on the coast, we are a little on the isolated side, but at the same time, it's so awesome to have people coming over and supporting our youth, showing them what you can achieve here in the Buller. And so, yeah, when I got the opportunity to come and speak to my hometown youth, someone that I used to be, it was really, really, really cool. An awesome opportunity, as much as I'm not a talker in the slightest. I thought it was such a cool opportunity to take.
What do you think is the sort of key message that you were trying to sell today to the kids in terms of being a Buller boy and what you've achieved so far?
For me, it was passion and belief. If you've got a passion, work hard towards it, and belief, because I still have so much self-doubt that I can do things, that I'm any good. So telling myself that you can do this, we can do this. it goes such a long, long way. And even taking steps from other people and belief from them as well is a massive, massive thing for me as well. I know my family have always had that belief in me, and I've taken a lot from it. So yeah, passion and belief and pushing yourself out of that comfort zone and just keep doing it. Keep doing it.
Great advice. Someone asks you on the street or before a show on something as high profile as The Voice, and they ask Jaden where he's from. How do you speak about having come from Bulla?
I will always say I'm originally from a little town called Westport. It's where I grew up, and ventured into the East Coast many times. I like to say that I'm a bit of a licorice all sort, but I will always tell people that I'm from Westport. It's where I'm from. It's where I grew up. It's where my people are from. Yeah, I love being from a small town. I'm proud of it. And I'd be back in a heartbeat if it was a little closer to the international airport. But I love it here. It's beautiful. And you can't beat the sunsets. There are so many opportunities that because we're such a tight-knit community, everyone wants to help and push you up and make you the best version of yourself. And that's what I got from Westport when I lived here. Sure, I live on the Gold Coast now, but I probably wouldn't be there without Westport.
Some great words there from Jaden Singleton, who has certainly taken opportunities that have come his way in the music scene. Of course, no good festival can happen without support from the funders. And so it was important that we acknowledge the Bulla Resilience Trust, whose initial funding kicked off and reinforced that this idea was possible, quickly followed by the MBS Bank, Bulla District Council, the West Coast Community Trust and Mayor's Task Force for Jobs. They provided a full day of workshops, the inspirational speakers, some music, some challenge and connection for our young people by our young people right here in Bulla. Now here's an observation from talking to a number of youth at the festival. For youth in this regional area, place is identity. The rivers, the coastlines, the clubs, the jobs, the schools, all of that shapes who you become. So youth policy that's written in Wellington doesn't always land where it should in the regions. We need access to mental health that doesn't require hours on the road. We need careers and apprenticeships that literally grow here on the West Coast, and events that make Bulla youth feel seen, not overlooked, and a part of designing the future that they will inherit. I'll end this episode by sharing some of the opening address I provided to the festival. I looked out into the crowd and I said, "Now here's what I see when I look at you today. The future. Not some far-off future, but the one that starts right here and right now. And the best part is, it doesn't matter where you're from, what you believe, how sporty you are, how clever you are, or what music you blast in your headphones. You are the future, and every single one of you matters. I know what it's like to sit where you are. I grew up here. I went to North School and Bulla High School. I dropped out of school. I worked on farms, I trained horses, I milked cows, and somehow I ended up becoming the mayor. I've fronted emergencies, I've met prime ministers, and I've been on TV many times. Crazy, but that is the life I led. But here's the thing. My schoolmates, they all went in different directions. Some studied at uni, became lawyers, teachers, accountants. There was even a nuclear physicist who grew up in Sedenville. Others went into mining, building, nursing, joined the military, or drove trucks. Every single one of them a different path, but the same lesson. There was no one right way to build a life. And we all started right here in Bulla. We were you, now you are us. That's it for this episode. Thanks for listening to The Cleine Line. This podcast is here to spark conversation, share a bit of insight, and shine a light on the things that matter to Bulla. But I also want to hear what matters to you. If there's an issue you'd like my thoughts on, someone in the community we should feature, or a topic you think deserves some airtime, send me an email, jamie@theclineline.com. I'll be back next time with more updates, reflections, and what's been happening around the district. Until then, thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk again soon.